All right, it is over. The Thunder win it 121-105. I got to give the Kings credit. I got to be honest. I thought it was going to be a slaughter at halftime, and they came out with a very spirited third quarter. And I think they get 16-0 run. They cut it to 7. But the Thunder are too much. They're too good. Kings are tired, and they showed their power after the Kings went on that run. But again, I thought it was going to be a slaughter at halftime. At least I'm giving this team some credit for the fight they showed in the second half.
100%. The thing that made me the most sick to my stomach at halftime was thinking about another half of that, Grant, and it fueling the national narrative that you always hear about. It's the Kings get 2, 3. In fact, last TNT game for them, unless they make the playoffs somehow, which is going to be a ways to go. But good look. The Thunder are a great team, and they let the Kings in twice. Let's not forget about that first quarter, Grant.
Yeah, well, the first quarter, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they outscored the Kings by 10. But here's the big picture, okay? The first quarter was 31-21. But the Thunder in the 3 games against Sacramento this year, with different players on the floor because there are different times of the year.
Yeah.
Back in November, Thunder 130, Kings 109. In February, Thunder 144, Kings 110. And in March, game tonight, 121-105. So the Thunder have no problem scoring against whoever Sacramento puts out on the floor. And I look at three-point shooting again tonight. The Thunder shoot almost 60% from beyond the arc.
Yep, and that was the difference that made the Kings run. In the third quarter, they ran them off the three-point line. They only got 5 attempts in that third quarter, Grant. You got to...
Yes, I know what you're going to say. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on you there.
All good. You got to keep them off the line. They did a little bit of the same in the first quarter, only 8 attempts. But I guess the question I asked to you is the spread that representative, or does that spread represent the difference between these two teams? Is the gap that large?
In my opinion, no, but it's significant.
Okay.
It's significant. And in my opinion, if the Kings were fortunate enough to get into the play-in and win 2 games, I think they would get swept by the Thunder. I don't think they would win a game.
Okay.
Now, I have a question for you. Right now, the Kings are 2 games under 500. In order to be 500 this year, the Kings have to go 6-4 in their final 10. I don't see any way in the world they're going 6-4. I'm sorry. I think these are the games I think they lose. I'm not even so sure about the Portland game, but I'm not gonna even include that. I think they're gonna lose at Orlando. I think they're gonna lose at Indiana. I think they're gonna lose at Cleveland. I think they're gonna lose at Detroit. Those are 4 right there. I think you're going to lose, and I'm not even getting to the final home games there. Which again, the reason why it's difficult to forecast. You don't know who's playing and who's not. But assuming that everyone plays, the Kings aren't going to win maybe but one of those final 3 games. So this team, to me, is not going to win 40 games this year. Agree or disagree?
I agree. I'm with you. I can't really go against that. Do you agree or disagree, though, that they only need to win 1, which is the last game against Phoenix?
To get into the play-in?
Yep.
Yes. Correct. I do. But I'm looking at Phoenix's schedule, which is absolutely brutal. So I'm actually, this is going to sound silly. I'm actually more worried about, I'm not even worried. I'm forecasting maybe a better chance for Dallas to be that team instead of Phoenix.
Okay. And you've said the Kings have the tiebreaker, which is really important there.
Yep.
Better matchup, I think, Dallas than Phoenix for the Kings.
Absolutely. No question about that. You want to go against Durant, Booker, and Grayson Allen, just 3 guys. I'm just going to, all 3-point shooters in a 1-game scenario.
I don't think the Kings want to see any good 3-point shooters in any scenario the rest of the season. But I'm with you. You're going to get some guys, though, on that Dallas team that are going to have an opportunity to show out and maybe a roster spot somewhere else next year. And that's always a wild card as well, Grant.
Here's the other issue. I'm starting to see this a lot on my social media account and elsewhere. A lot of the fans are saying, screw it. Let's not even play in the damn thing, and let's get our pick for next year and go that way.
And that's why I'm so much looking forward to our roundtable tomorrow with Jerry. I want to see what he has to say to that, because I'm leaning more towards the fans that are in favor. And I think you said you were as well.
We'll see what's going on with everyone. We'll see Jerry's thoughts, your thoughts. We welcome you to the post-game show. Again, it's 121 to 105. We look forward to your phone calls. And, of course, the post-game show right here on If You Don't Like That, brought to you in part by Sunrise Landing, the newest residential community in Calusa. You get all the information at CalusaSunrise.com. You can check out this amazing development from Blazona Development, whether it is this model, these models. I mean, you have 6 to choose from, various lot sizes, adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club. Remember, good access to I-5, Highway 20, Highway 45. Calusa Sunrise. Go to CalusaSunrise.com and get all the information you need on beautiful Sunrise Landing. And don't forget, a little bit later in this program, we'll have a rant with Grant. Give me some ideas via the chat line, a rant with Grant. What do you think I should rant on tonight?
Oh, there are many choices, but we'll leave that to the chat. So you've been very vocal. You said if the Kings don't make the play-in, you can clear house. You think that Monty McNair will be gone, coaching staff will be gone. That also means they keep that pick. Do you think the Kings can have everything in place in time sufficiently, in the right way, to make that pick?
You're talking about with the new management?
New management, new coaching staff?
Yeah, clearly, because the draft is at the end of June, and you would, in all likelihood, have a new general manager before the middle of May. So, yes.
You think it'd be that quick?
Yeah, it would have to be.
Okay.
It would have to be. I, first of all, consider this season a failure right now, today. To me, this is a failure of a season on March 25th, 2025, without even knowing what is going to happen ahead, because this team is what they are. Nothing's going to change. This team is poorly constructed. The pieces don't fit. I'm cognizant of the injuries they've had and guys in and out of the lineup with illness and all of that. But the reality is, this group that's on the Kings roster right now, this group has played well infrequently, too infrequently for me to have any hope that it would all be better next year. So I think there are big time changes coming forward. And I think when you see Luke Locke and you see Wes Wilcox and you see De'Aaron Fox and rumors about Sabonis maybe being next, wanting out, that's not a good environment to build a winning franchise in.
When you think of this season as a failure, what comes to mind first? The players or the front office and the owner?
To me, it's the management of the Kings, starting with Vivek Ranadive, who's a failure. I said this before it happened. I was on record as saying there's no way in the world you should give Mike Brown a new deal.
You were.
I said it before the deal. I said it after the deal. I said it was stupid. There is no need for it. Absolutely rushing, peer pressure, public pressure. It was unnecessary. And what happens? He doesn't even last half a year.
Yeah.
And he's gone. The domino effect falls. You don't have Fox now. You then hire an interim coach who had no business being named the head coach on an interim level. It's just not right. He's fourth in line. That's not the way it's done. All right?
Can you, okay, because this is a big point of contention. Sorry to cut you off, partner. Can you expand on that? Because everybody says you don't like Doug Christie. Doug Christie isn't doing a good job coaching. Explain the difference, because I think people need more than just that sentence to understand.
I am very happy for Doug to be coaching, because I know it's in his soul and it's his DNA. And for one person to another, I'm very happy that Doug is living his dream. I don't wish any ill will towards Doug as the Sacramento Kings basketball coach. I've been very open about what this franchise has meant to be for basically half my life. All right.
Yep.
The differences that I had with Doug are over my firing and his mixed messages privately as opposed to publicly. I have multiple text messages from Doug on my cell phone in a 36-hour period from when I made the tweet, All Lives Matter, every single one, until I was terminated by Bonneville International. Completely giving me the impression that he had my back, understood exactly where I was coming from, that he had no issue with me, blah, 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 on my phone. Phone calls also, which obviously weren't recorded. Checking in on me. How are you? How's Star? Thinking about you. What can I do for you? Everything. And I was very open with him. I said, what you can do for me is you can come out and, speak up for me publicly because you know me. Silence. I asked him again. And he said, Napes, if I didn't support you, if I didn't have your back, I wouldn't be calling you 3 or 4 times a day and checking in on you. I said, that's not what I need.
Right.
We had very specific messages going back and forth that led me to believe that not only would Doug have my back, but that I would be appearing on the radio show that Monday afternoon, June 1st, and if not June 1st, June 2nd, and Doug was fine with it. Without going into too much specific detail, I found out that that was not true. So my differences with Doug are over that specific issue. My differences with Doug have absolutely nothing to do with coaching. I don't hate Doug. I don't wish Doug and his family ill will. I don't wish Doug to get sick. I don't wish Doug to be unemployed. I don't have any ill will towards Doug. I feel bad for him in the sense that I'm disappointed in him and that it made me understand more who my true friends in life are. I thought Doug was one of my close friends in life, but a close friend in your life doesn't do that to you. So that part of my friendship with Doug is in the past. But how I feel about him as a person, he has a lot of great qualities. And here's the most important thing. He loves Sacramento and he loves the Sacramento Kings. Loves Sacramento, loves the Kings. Yep. He's not perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not saying that he's perfect. So for those that think that when I say Doug did not deserve to get the Sacramento Kings head coaching job on an interim basis, he didn't deserve it. It wasn't his turn. He wasn't ready. He wasn't the guy that was next in line or second to next in line. It's not the way things are done. And when you see what happened, why do you think you had so many current coaches like Steve Kerr, like Rick Carlisle, like Michael Malone, like Greg Popovich, and former coaches like George Karl and others that came out and lambasted the Sacramento Kings for firing Mike Brown and hiring Doug? They got lambasted.
Yeah.
You can't ignore that. You can't say, well, no. There's a reason for that. The coaches in the NBA that I just named and so many more understand what the problem in Sacramento is. They know. There's no secret. Everyone knows what the problem is in Sacramento. And that's why you're seeing individuals wanting to leave the organization instead of wanting to come to the organization. It's right there for you in black and white. It's not like my opinion, Ryan's opinion. No, open up your eyes. See what's happening here.
Yeah.
So when I say Doug is not a head coach, it's not based on ill will. It's not based on hatred. It's not based on I don't want to see him succeed. I don't care if Doug succeeds or not. If he succeeds, great. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I'm not rooting for Doug to get fired, okay? Like, I see the excellent qualities that the man has. I shared many, 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 many great times on the golf course and at restaurants and on the air and on the radio show with Doug. Those don't just leave my mind. I had great times with him. But there are always the people that are always going to harp on the negative. Oh, Grant, no. You see what you want to see and you hear what you want to hear. I am a eyeball guy. My eyes tell me that this team has got problems. My eyes and my ears tell me that this franchise has got real issues right now. My eyes and my ears tell me that there's no quick fix in sight. My eyes and my ears tell me that Monty McNair needs to be replaced because he's had significant time to put together a winning roster, and it has not happened. In my opinion, which I've said for weeks now, this franchise needs a new general manager and a new head coach. That's the first thing I would do if I owned the team. I hope I explained myself adequately.
Yeah, I think you did. And two things can be true at once. You can believe that he wasn't supposed to have the job, but you can also believe that he's done a good job at times. And we've been fair of criticizing him as well about excuses. Just a couple of games ago, assimilating guys in that have been sick, and it's not easy stepping in from the fourth chair to the first chair unexpectedly and with the situation that you've talked so eloquently about behind the scenes. But I think
and one other thing, I just want to put closure to this whole thing that I'm seeing about like this one. Did Grant just throw Christie under the bus? I didn't say anything right now that I haven't said in the past. So if you think I threw him under the bus, you're living under a rock. All right. You're not under a bus. You're under a big boulder. If my lawsuit ends up at trial, which I'm hopeful that it will, and I'm hoping that I find out soon, all of this will be public. And you'll know exactly what I've been saying for over 4 years now. There won't be any secrets. There won't be any, well, gee, Grant's just saying that. It will all be there for you to look at and make your own decision. And I will tell you, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to be very, very uncomfortable. I'll just leave it at that.
Don't disagree with you. We'd love to get your input on the show as well. If there's anything you want to talk about, hit the link that we keep putting in the chat. You can also scan the QR code that is on the screen. Brian, thank you for the super chat. The Kings will trade DeMar to the Bucks for Kuzma next season. Oh, please no.
Says total Vivek move. The Kings are stuck with Lavine, who plays like he's in a pickup game. He needs to be off the team, but we're stuck. You are stuck with Zach Lavine. That's very true. And there's no way you're trading DeMar DeRozan for Kyle Kuzma.
Grant, the last couple of days, what's Doug Christie been talking about? Zach talked about it. He needs to get at least 10 threes a game, right? Zach Lavine needs to have 10 3-point attempts a game. Tonight, there were two separate opportunities. This one in the first half. He is wide open. Nothing but space. He could step into it. He could shoot it from there. He's got the range. That's Zach's shot. Instead, he dribbled into a double team and turned the ball over. That's your first instance. And I think this is what fans are getting fed up with. This is the second instance that happened tonight that triggered and this is in the middle of the run in the third quarter, everybody. This triggered the coach's challenge by Doug Christie. This is the exact shot that Zach Lavine wants right here. It's right there. But instead, he brings it in, foul gets called, and it gets overturned. And so what I'm having a hard time understanding is why is he not taking the things that he is best at? Is he over trying? Is there just not enough point guard help? Because these are like basketball 101 things, Grant. We keep having.
Well, if I'm a shooter and I'm open, I'm shooting the ball. You have a green light. I mean, you unless he's dealing with an injury and he's not letting us know something that would affect his shooting, then I don't understand. You just had two great illustrations tonight. I mean, he did take a lot of 3 attempts. He took 11, right?
Right. But you were within.
He made 4, which, that's not terrible.
No, but it's not terrible. My point is you were within 6 points in that third quarter.
Yep.
You take that 3, you can be within 3 points instead of what ends up being
crazy. You got all the momentum. Understand?
100%. That
Yeah.
is, if there ever was a Zach Lavine shot, that's a Zach Lavine shot.
Yeah. Listen, you make a good point. And listen, it's easier when you can see it and you illustrate it, and it makes a lot of sense where you have to ask yourself, what's going on there? Why isn't Zach Lavine shooting the basketball unless he just doesn't feel comfortable with a shot right now? That to me, you know what those two illustrations show me, Ryno? Shows me a lack of confidence.
It's a good point, Grant. It's a very good point. PK, thanks for waiting. You start us off tonight, buddy.
Hey guys. How you guys doing?
Hi. Good.
Hey, I want to say something. You know what, Grant? You made such a great rant so many times throughout this season about the fans. And you know what? I want to give like love to the fans. You guys started this channel, and then in the chat, there's Manuel, there's BJ, there's Dennis, there's shoot, like I'm sorry, I'm like forgetting everybody else. There's so many guys out there that
And
have
gals.
and Kirk and everyone who has called in to talk to Grant and get his take.
And Ryan.
Well, Ryan's is X and O's. So like I'm talking about like
Well, Ryan is not X and O's, but go ahead.
come on, give him some
He
credit.
is a lot more than X
Give
and
him
O's.
some
Go ahead.
give him some credit, Grant. Come on. Like Jay calls in, everyone calls in, try to pretend to be a coach. But I think Grant, midway through the season, I think you did such a good job at giving us a feel about the fans. And the fact that we watch this, even though this is a complete disaster, like besides the record, besides what's happening right now, I think Grant, the fact that it's like you gave us like that little spark and say, you know what, it's about the fans. And we love this team. And we love watching this, even this disaster, even though I won $500. Still, I'm just
Right.
I'm just even with the gambling, I think Grant, thank you so much for fighting for the fans, because like we love
Hey,
this
I
team.
really appreciate that. I'm going to interrupt you for a minute. I've
Go ahead.
always fought for the fans. I fought for the fans when the Kings were looking to move. Every day I
Yeah.
put my ass and my neck on the line. I've always fought for the fans. I've cried for the fans. I've been with the fans. I am a fan. Thank you for saying that, but I've always put the fans first. Always. But thank you.
Okay. Since I know everyone else is going to be able to like want to call and stuff like that, Grant, I have a question for you. Like, how do you think this compares to a team that was non-playoff contender for like 20 years versus like what we have right now?
This team is so much more talented than those teams, PK. This team's got legitimate talent on the floor. They've got former all-stars on the floor. Those teams didn't have that. So it's a lot different, because to me, this is an underachieving team, PK, and it's been an underachieving team all season. And that to me is what's so frustrating. This team should be much better than they are. And it's very frustrating for me. I think part of it's on coaching.
So you think we're more
Go ahead.
You think we're more talented right now than those like losing team streak that we had?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Ryan, do you think this team's more talented than those teams he's referring to?
Absolutely. I think this team, if we were going to do like a stock market example, there's too much stock being put in the Kmart area of this team, the established, you know what you're going to get, low risk versus your upstarts, your tech companies. That's where you should be spending your time in your development. The Kings have been excellent with player development. If you can do it in Stockton, keep doing it with Keegan Murray. Keep doing it with Keon Ellis.
So we get a coach, and we're not. And so we get a coach, and future is not grim, in your opinions.
Well, Grant, I'll let you answer. I would tell you have good pieces, but you got to keep those good pieces happy and pay them.
Yeah,
I don't think the future is bright. I don't think the future is. Well, I don't. Why are you laughing? I don't think the future is bright.
I mean, right now it looks pretty grim.
Yeah, but it's not. I don't know if it's grim like you're putting it out there.
No, I'm saying grim game to game. It's grim, but I think future looks bright, but I think this season is great.
Compared to whom in the West? Who's it looking bright for? Compared to what teams in the West? Do you look brighter than Oklahoma City?
Grant, I think the season looks grim, but the future might be bright.
Well, I hope you're right, PK. Thanks for the
All right.
kind words. Thanks for leading us off. You have a good night. Thank you very much.
You as well. Have a good one, guys.
Don't make no sense.
Sorry, PK. I had to drop that on you, man. You're going in circles there.
Yes. Speaking of making things bright, you know what's going to make things bright? When you have a plumbing issue and you need help and you call New Works Plumbing, pretty soon you're going to be going, oh, thank goodness. It's fixed. It's done. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I'm feeling much better. Get in touch with them, 916-713-1010 or sackserviceplumbing.com or newworksplumbing.com, NEWWRXplumbing.com. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fixed view. And again, they are available around the clock 24/7. Get in touch with them. You'll be very glad that you did. Do you agree or disagree with me on bright versus grim? I don't think things are grim. I don't think they're bright either. I think the worst part here's where I think the Kings are right now, Ryan. They're in the worst possible place you can be.
Yes.
They're not bad enough to not be in the show, and they're not good enough to be a contender.
And how do you get out of that? You make a decision.
Yeah.
You can't just waffle in the middle. You can't do it. And you're spot on. Brian, thanks for waiting tonight.
Hey, guys. Tough.
Hey there.
Tough. Well, not really a tough loss. We expected it, but like you mentioned, I appreciated the fight we brought. It's good to see Keegan hitting some threes. And the fact that we didn't just let it become a 30-point lead like I thought it was going to snowball and become was a positive. We did miss Malik Monk, and, you know, we have a G League backup point guard, and what's his name? Fultz. So that's a little scary.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough way to play against Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I would agree with you.
Who did not play a very good game in the first half, too.
No. By the way, the Kings point differential that we talk about all year is now 0.2. And the Kings record, 35-37. They're 2-8 in their last 10 games, and they are tied with the Phoenix Suns. They have the same records.
So, Grant, that's that little inkling of sunshine that PK is talking about, because technically that differential should be negative because you're under 500. So,
yeah, you know what? Very true.
Kings fans, there you go. You still got that point too.
Well, you know, the last thing it's I know it's a touchy subject, Grant, and I wanted to preface what I say by saying that, you know, I've listened to you for, let's see, I want to say since 1992. I remember being in the car with my old man listening to your pregame, postgame, driving by the big Coca-Cola, watching games at Arco.
Right.
So, you know, I have a great deal of respect for you.
Thank you.
But I'm going to give you my opinion
Sure.
on what you had talked about earlier. And I really do appreciate the context of how you added the text messages, etc. But having one or two really close friends for 30 years, which I have myself, I'm going to put it, and I don't know how long you've known Doug. I know it's been a long time.
I've known him since probably the same 25 years I've known him.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say, when it comes to that situation, my opinion is he was wrong as a friend, handling it the way he did. But I will say, had he handled it the right way, I don't think he'd be a coach on the Kings today with the way the organization is run.
I disagree with you. I think that everything would have been fine. Everything would have gone straight ahead. It would have been a forgotten issue, and everyone would have moved on. Personally, I don't think it would have mattered. And you might be right, and I may be wrong, but I don't think it would have mattered.
Okay. Well, hey, thanks for taking my call.
Thank you.
And I appreciate. I love listening to you guys. So
Thank
keep
you.
doing what you're doing. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Brian.
Yep.
Our lives begin to end the day we remain silent about things that matter. One of the great quotes from MLK.
Love it when you reset that one all the time. Dirk, what's going on?
I love it. One of my favorite quotes of all time.
Hey guys, props
Hey there.
to the last caller for putting that out there. Grant, you said something that resonates with me. This, you know, it's the worst situation to be in, right? We ask, is the future bright or grim? Mediocrity is the worst place to be in the NBA.
Yeah.
It's well established, you know. So if this team doesn't come up with a new way to to succeed here in these next 10 games, I don't want to see them go into the play-in. I mean, to play for what? I don't want to lose by 25 every game to the OKC.
You know, you got really bad. You like either banging into your phone, your mic, or whatever. If you could try to limit that noise, it would be great.
Problem. But yeah, so personally, I just prefer if we kind of shut it down. If we can't find a new edge, they got to keep looking for some sort of edge to figure out a way to score consistently. Bad center play tonight. Would you guys agree?
Well, I thought I was very puzzled by the minutes played by the Kings bigs, but I wanted to get to that. So thank you for bringing it up, Dirk. Like I was looking at what Valanciunas' minutes were, and go ahead, Ryan. What do you think of that?
No, you're spot on. In fact, the only guy that played in the third quarter off the bench was Laravia. It was 3 minutes and 53 seconds for Zach Lavine, and Doug went to a extremely short rotation the second half after we saw Grant a combination that included McDermott, Devin Carter, Zach Lavine, Markelle Fultz, and Jake Laravia.
Well, think about this. Only 2 bench players played in double figure minutes. Laravia with 21 minutes and Fultz with 11. The next closest was Valanciunas, who played only 8 minutes.
And Grant, should we send a SOS for Trey Lyles?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, huh? 2 minutes of action.
Very interesting.
Grant, I'm curious if your opinion, and I'm not saying he's the perfect player here, but has your opinion of Jake Laravia changed at all? Do you think you would like him on your roster?
Yeah, I would like him on my roster. I never said I didn't want him on my roster. All I said was I think Kings fans have overvalued him based on everything that I'm reading. And Ryan, you are a lot closer to this than I am, Mr. X's and O's, is contractually, how are they going to do that? What's his value going to be, and how are the Kings going to be able to keep him?
Well, I think you're going to have to probably make some decisions depending on what you value Keon Ellis at. I think you got to put who's more important to this roster, Keon Ellis or Jake Laravia. And do we
have to answer that question? I think we all would agree who that would be.
I think it's Keon Ellis, but Grant, would this year tell you different with the way that he's been in and out of the games down the stretch? It's been very
Keon
confusing.
Ellis to me I would prioritize much more than Laravia.
I would hope so, but you can see that Laravia is a Doug Christie guy. Doug Christie loves him some Laravia.
Well, I don't know how Doug Christie would not love Keon Ellis, because Keon Ellis is like a shadow of Doug Christie, or like not a shadow, a mirror image of Doug with how he approaches the game and how he plays and everything else. Like I would, to me, and I don't know Keon's personality, but just my eyes tell me that would be somebody that Doug Christie would love. I'm not saying he doesn't love Jake Laravia, but I mean, Keon is like a mirror image of him.
Yep, it's a great point. And Jerry said same thing, just a little bit more playmaking from Doug. I think, Dirk, before we really answer about Laravia in the future, Laravia is a piece to the puzzle that we keep talking about. And I think before you make a big decision or a commitment to a Laravia because of the style of basketball he plays, you need to understand what your team direction is going to be. Are you going to be a defensive team? Or are you going to be a physical team like the Knicks? And that's how you start to kind of, at least for me, filter those things out.
Yeah, you can't be a physical team in the West. It's just not going to work. You have to be a team that flat out scores, and you don't. If you don't do that, you're not going to compete in the West. You got to be able to put the ball in the hole, and if you don't, then you're not going to win a lot of games. You got to score in the West.
But I also really quick, Dirk. I also think you got to be able to switch 1 through 5 in the West. That is what's helped the Clippers so much.
Yeah, very true.
I mean, I think the strategy moving forward is pretty obvious. Again, if you're in mediocrity, you sign Keon to a good deal and you sign Keegan to a good deal. If only just because they would become huge trade assets. Because they're super valuable pieces. If you don't have what it takes to be a good team, you could trade those guys for picks as part of a reset. And
the other issue is, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to ask you this question, Dirk. If you have a new general manager, then you have a new set of eyes and ears and a new set of ideas as well.
Yeah. But I get, wouldn't you agree, Grant? You're going to guarantee they're going to want to see what Keegan Murray's capable of once they get their chance to coach him. Wouldn't you think that would be true?
Yeah. Yep.
I would agree. You almost hear every head coach gushing over Keegan
That-
Murray.
His defense was spectacular tonight. I just can't believe what an anchor he is for this team as it currently is constructed. But man, I love that guy.
This,
So can I-
oh, go ahead, Dirk. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna let other people talk. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Appreciate you,
Thank
Dirk.
you, Dirk.
This
I
whole,
agree with him.
yeah, I agree with him too. This whole purgatory thing is such a bigger deal because of the Zach Lavine decision. That was the one thing Monty McNair refused to do, is put a bad contract on the books. And now you have it. And that's what throws the wrench into which way you go with this, because you don't know what Zach Lavine you're going to get. Is he going to be happy? Is he going to be healthy? That's a lot of money in this CBA. It just complicates it, Grant, so much.
Well, for that kind of money, he needs to be your best player. I'm sorry, but that's the reality of the situation.
And are better days ahead of him?
Well, they can't be much worse than what we've seen.
So exactly. So how do you find a way to soft build? I mean, I guess we've seen the Bulls kind of also be in mediocrity with Zach
Mediocrity,
Lavine.
yeah.
So
Well, I just find it interesting that the reason why Zach Lavine is making so much money is because of the Kings. All right. That's why he has the contract. The Kings made the offer sheet and the Bulls matched it in like 10 minutes.
It's such an awesome point. It really
I mean,
is.
That's why his contract is the contract the Kings had offered and the Bulls matched it.
Yep, you're a spot freaking on. I am afraid, and we can't judge it yet, that we are going to look back at this Fox trade where we thought this was going to be the step forward, or at least the side step to get us to the next step, that instead it put us behind the 8 ball.
If the Kings do not draft extremely well with the picks that they received in that trade, this will go down as one of the worst trades in Sacramento Kings history.
Don't disagree. NBA guru. Wait, how are you TNT? They're doing a show there right now.
I snuck in without them looking.
Got it.
I just want to come on here and I just want to talk about Doug Christie. I just want to come vouch for him a little bit. I think he's been put in a tough position. I agree with you guys. He wasn't the first in line for this job. So I agree with you guys there. But it's tough for him. He's still 22-19 as the Kings coach. He didn't have the whole offseason to prepare. Fox got traded during that whole thing with the drama. He's got injuries in and out with Sabonis, Monk.
And almost every win that he's had has been with the other team's best players not being on the floor. Don't forget that.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we've had some injuries too during the
I understand.
But yeah, that should be in the context for sure. Keegan Murray's been playing way better, in my opinion. I think, at least offensively, under Doug Christie. I know today is a little recency bias, but his 3-point shot's been doing better, and I just feel like offensively he's been doing a little bit better. I know Keon Ellis. A lot of people are hating on Christie on his rotations and Keon Ellis not getting enough time, but Keon still gets 27, 28 minutes per game under Doug Christie. And it's just tough because Mike Brown.
That's not true. He only played 18 minutes in a game 3 games ago. He played 18 minutes. And we were talking about that after the game. How come we didn't see Keon Ellis? Was it the Bulls game, Ryno, where he only played 18 minutes?
And Doug said it was a mistake.
No, for sure. I'm just saying the average minutes per game for Keon. And the guy that made the same mistakes, Mike Brown. We always complained about his rotations. We always complained about him letting the players play at the end of the games, which is the same thing Christie's doing, which is kind of funny. And I agree, those are not good things to do. But Mike Brown had a leash of 2.5 years almost. So, and Christie's having, a tough
and he
start.
won 48 and 46 games respectively. The Kings this year are going to not win 40 games.
Well, Mike Brown gave him a 13 and 18 start too.
I understand, but you look at the totality of a season. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But this season to me is a colossal failure.
Guys, this is how I judge whether a Sacramento coach is doing a good job or not, whether there's success or not, because what you're saying, guys are out of the lineup, guys are in the lineup. It's what's the team's identity? And throughout this Beam team, whatever you want to call it, era, and even under this Christie administration, there is still no identity to this team. There is not one thing that this team hangs its hat on. And don't tell me it's effort and hustle, because it wasn't there in the first half. So that's what I struggle with.
Do you think it'd be fair for Christie to have like an off season to figure that out a little bit with the team that he has, since there's been so many changes with all these?
I don't know if I would use the word fair, because what's fair in professional sports? I don't know what's fair and what's not fair.
Sure.
But if I'm the owner, I am hiring a coach that's been there and done that over a period of time with a proven track record, and I'm going in that direction. That's just me. And if you disagree, that's fine, but that's the way I'm going.
I was just curious because I'm thinking, like, if the Kings hit the reset button, trade Sabonis, trade DeMar, let's say that, I've been saying that I want that stuff to happen for this offseason. I wouldn't personally mind Christie as a player's coach to be that type of guy, because we don't really need someone that's some Frank Vogel type or some great, really good coach that's been there around, done that. Like you're saying, I don't mind a player's coach when it's time, if we're going in the rebuild direction.
But part of the rebuild is rebuilding with a coach that takes you there. It's not like you have the coach for the rebuild and then you bring in another coach. To me,
you could. It's happened both ways. It's happened both ways. But
the other part is your coaching staff. It's not just a head coach; it's your staff. And so, what does that mean? If they retain Doug and give him let's say a 3-year deal, are they going to allow him to go out and hire his own staff? I mean, there are a lot of variables. There are a lot of variables here. I'm on record. I think they need to go in a different direction.
I tend to agree with Grant that they need to go in a different direction. I don't know if Doug's going to be okay with taking a step to the side and still being on the coaching staff. That will have to get figured out. But
if he wants to stay in the league, he better.
Yeah, well, I'm of the
listen, I said this before and I'm going to say it again. And if you guys disagree with me or anyone else online disagrees with me, speak up and let me know. If Doug is not retained as the interim head coach to a head coach, there isn't one team in the NBA that will interview him when they have a coaching vacancy coming up. That to me speaks volumes of my side of my argument. Do you guys disagree with that?
I don't disagree, but then I'm going to reverse it with you. If Doug is retained, does that speak to the problem with ownership? That you've still got that conduit, Vivek, direct to the bench.
Of course it is, 100%. They love Doug. Vivek loves Doug. The front office, the business side, they're all pro Doug Christie, big time. Yes, of course it does. I mean, they were pushing for him to become my analyst. They were completely on board with that. They would, this is great, blah, blah, blah. They love Doug. So yes, there is that in play. And I'm not so sure that's a good thing.
Right.
I'll say that Doug Christie, if he was let go, would he get a coaching vacancy, interview, stuff like that? I don't think so as well. I agree. I think he will get a assistant coaching position.
I hope so. I'll tell you where he would end up is in Seattle. If they get an expansion team, Doug would be on that staff in a heartbeat, and he would take it in a heartbeat because that's where he's from and he loves it and everything about it. He would do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's fair. Luke Walton, he got fired and he didn't get any interviews just for assistant coaches. So I think it'll be that type of deal where it's just assistant.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Zach, are the Kings going to win 40 games this year? I say no. What do you say? They're 35-37. That's 5. They'd have to go 5-5 to get to 40.
Yeah, I predicted 38. I think they got 3 more wins in them.
All right.
Zach, you still moonlighting? You doing anything tonight?
Yeah, we got the NBA Guru show tonight after your guys' show, and we're going to talk about Monty McNair, how he's done as a GM. That's going to be the big topic.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
Good luck with that.
Take care, guys.
Appreciate that. Good luck with that. Hope it works out for you. Don't forget about Bennett's Prime Seafood and Steaks. Whether it is the Sacramento, Roseville, or the West Side Grill in Rockland, you get the same great quality food. And as Ryan keeps on reminding everyone, don't forget about Mother's Day. It's not that far off. I mean, you got to start thinking about it. Great place to go is Bennett's with their prime seafood and steaks. Their weekend brunch is outstanding. Just go to bennettsrestaurants.com. That's bennettsrestaurants.com. Make a reservation at one of their 3 locations. You'll be very happy that you did.
Yeah, those dings that you were hearing in the background were actually my wife following up if I had made the reservation yet. So sorry about that. Good timing. Way to put the pressure on me, honey.
I just have a feeling that if you slip up, Brian will figure out a way to fit you in and make you very happy.
I would hope so. He is that kind of guy. Love Brian, love Margot, love this guy too. BJ, thanks for calling tonight.
Hey, BJ.
Hey, what's up, gentlemen? Thank you for taking my call, and thanks for doing this awesome late show. I really appreciate it. Really respect you guys. You know my story. I've been following you, Mr. Napes, Mr. Redheaded Stepchild of Sucktown since '89. I love you. I stuck up for you. I really got it from Rome. But anyways, I didn't call for that. You know what I did call was the identity thing. I think our identity is a leaderless, rudderless type of team. An indecision, it seems like there's decisions being made not necessarily on the floor, but maybe in the background that it almost seems like Doug's hands are tied. I don't think that he would make some of the decisions that he is making. And if he does, and if he would, then I think that that's kind of a sign right there. The ilks and the ill that we see in this organization is so deep that we can't just start with just one thing. It starts at the root, and it's Mr. Vivek, and I'm grateful for him, but I don't necessarily agree with the decisions that he's made. Our only hope is that he would hire someone that loves the game passionately, like Doug Christie, and has the ability to put people together and able to stand up to someone like Vivek. I don't know if that's going to happen. So as fans, we're just going to have to endure it. I'm not really, as soon as we traded the malcontent, I wasn't really gunning for the playoffs. I didn't think that from my point of view, and I'll let you guys take it from here or follow up on it. I just thought that we should have held out on trading. And I know that we're going back over it again, but I would have liked to have waited, not traded him. He wants to get surgery. Sit his ass down. Get your surgery. We'll trade you in the offseason. And let's do what's best for the Kings. Not necessarily take on this huge contract. And something's up with Lavine. I don't know if it's mentally or physically, but it's all kind of sad. But us as fans, we can endure this. We're going through the desert. I think there's going to be a turnaround. I hope there's going to be a turnaround where we just got each other. So, can I tell you guys, can I show you one thing though, real fast? I picked up this Luka Doncic. I don't know if you guys could see it.
Yeah.
It's called it's beautiful. A ruby red. It's rated a 9 mint. I got it on a good deal because I also bought this one with it, which is called a lottery ticket. And that lottery ticket was to the Kings. Well,
okay, so I've got a question for you. What do you do with those things?
Well,
no, I'm serious. Like
I've been offered.
Like, help me out here. You're an adult.
Okay.
You collect.
Yes.
You collect things of that nature. For what reason? Like, what do you do with them? Where do you put them? Like, what is the appeal of having a card like that? Or is it an investment?
An investment
for the future for money? Is that what it's about?
So it's an investment because I have this card. This is Roberto Clemente's rookie card. I've had this card since I was, I think 9 or 10. Wow. This card was in my safe after I went to Colorado and visited my oldest son after he did a tour in Poland. I took it to him and I told him, I want you to have this card. I pulled out a bunch of cards. I pulled out my
What
Jordan
would that
rookie
Roberto
card.
Clemente card be worth?
Okay, so to me, it's worth a lot. On the market,
what's it worth?
On the market because it's not graded, and so there's this new thing that it's got to be graded. For me, it's like I got this from an old lady. Her husband died. He stored this in a coffee can somewhere back in Ohio, and she liked me. I love Roberto Clemente.
So what's it worth?
She sold it to me. Raw? Maybe a couple
right.
hundred,
All right,
maybe
I'm
three,
just trying to get an
400,
idea. All
maybe.
right, so listen, man, I appreciate that. Thank you for the knowledge. You educated me a little bit, and it's good having you on, my
Yeah.
man. You take care, okay?
Love you guys. Look at that old boxing one. It's like from 1930 or
Love
something.
All
it.
right,
Good job, BJ.
I'm gonna come
BJ,
over and rob you and steal all your cards and sell them.
Grant, you would not believe the comeback that has happened with
Really?
collecting and cards. It's insane.
Is it just
right
for
now.
investment purposes? Is it for money? I mean, or
Yes.
is it?
Well, both. I mean, it's always as kids, it was, chasing your favorite players, holding on to them, trading up, getting boxes. But now it is investments. You can buy into partial shares of cards. There's cards
Okay.
selling for millions of dollars
All right.
regularly.
It is time now for Grant's Rant. It is brought to you by EDH Motors Automotive Reimagined. You go to their website or call or the email. It's right there for you if you are looking to sell your vehicle. They will sell your vehicle and you will be very happy. If you do not have a vehicle that you want to sell and you're in the market to buy a vehicle, go to edhmotors.com. And if you don't see what you're looking for, not a problem. David and Adam, with their decades of automotive experience, will get you exactly what you want. That's what they do at EDH Motors. And you know what else is great? You'll take delivery at their beautiful auto lounge at the El Dorado Hills Town Center. This is a long overdue new concept. I think you're going to love EDH Motors. EDH Motors, automotive, reimagined. And as always, a rant with Grant. I talked about this earlier, and I'm going to mention it again right here because I'm always perplexed by this. Fans always want to show extra compassion for their sports figures when things go awry or they're rumored not to be going smoothly. I've been reading a lot of comments on social media as it relates to Zach Lavine and potential personal issues because he stepped away from the team last week for one game for personal reasons. And I hear and I see this outpouring of sympathy. Oh, give the guy a break. Oh, he's going through something. Give the guy a break. I have a question for you. And I'm not being insensitive when I say this. Do you give your law enforcement officer a break when they put their life on the line and they're dealing with issues at home, or your firefighter or your soldiers abroad protecting you? What about your surgeons, your nurses? What about the people that fly your airplanes, drive your buses, take you places in Uber? Don't you think a lot of Uber drivers are dealing with personal issues? And I say that in a very kind way because I use Uber a lot too, making extra money. A lot of these individuals are working 2 and 3 jobs to take care of their families, driving for 4 or 5 hours a day in addition to their full-time job. Do you sympathize with them? If Zach Lavine and his performance is being affected by a personal issue, I'm sorry for that. You can always take a leave of absence. But I don't feel sorry in the sense of like, we all have jobs. We all have responsibilities. And unless you're the perfect person that I have yet to meet in my life, we all have problems. We've got people in our families that are sick. We've got people that we love that might be not doing well. We might be going through a divorce. We might be going through a breakup. We may be dealing with a lot of stress. We may have lost our jobs and we can't pay our mortgage and we can't pay our bill. But yet when an athlete who's making $50 million a year goes through a alleged personal issue and we see them struggle a little bit on the court, oh, poor Zach. Oh, we wish him well. If he is going through a personal issue, I wish him well too. But when it's time to go to work, you go to work and you do your freaking job. Just like everyone else that I just mentioned, you do your job. And if you're not able to do your job, then you take a step back and you take a leave of absence. And then, okay, fine. You deal with it. I understand that we all deal with personal issues differently, but you go to work, and you do your freaking job. Keep that in mind, would you please? Don't put your professional athletes on a pedestal when they're going through what you think are personal issues, because their issues are no different than all the other people in the world that I just mentioned. Just remember that. Thank you very much. And that's my rant for tonight.
All I could think about during your rant is your dad. That's a
Oh.
Bert Napier rant right there.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Yep. Yep. He'd be proud of me.
Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. We've got some audio from Coach Christie after the game. Put up some stats. In the meantime, here was Doug.
Our guys have to understand is the consistency at which you approach something is everything for us. That means effort. That means attention to detail. That means extra efforts, possession game, trying to create extra possessions, whether that be steals, whether that be offensive rebounds, whatever it is. And when you look across from you, that team does that. If you mess up, they take full advantage of it every single time. And we're going to get there because we keep demonstrating that we can. Now it's, are you willing to go through the pain that it takes to do it? That's really what it's all about. Because I'll tell you guys, like you guys have been around basketball, NBA, it's painful as hell. And that's why not everybody does it. Because if it was easy, everybody would do it. But it's not easy. And sometimes you don't feel good. There's a lot of different things that go into it. And that's why I addressed the whole point, because when I talk to them, your spirit got to be right. Get your spirit right. Because you come in here with the wrong spirit, you will get the hell beat out of you. And it almost happened. And then all of a sudden they said, nah, we ain't dropping the rope. We about to get at it. And when they did, we saw the result. And that's the team that's in the locker room. Unfortunately, it's not the team that continues to show itself for 48 minutes. And I know that's hard, but we not accepting anything less. So there will be a time, and when that time comes, you'll feel it.
Doug Christie. After
Blah,
the game.
blah, 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 blah. Same thing as Mike Brown, but saying it differently. Same thing, same story all year. I'm tired of hearing it. You know what? I'm tired of hearing it. You have 10 freaking games left. If it's not there on March 25th, it's not going to be there on March 27th or April 2nd or whenever the hell all your games are. Done with it, okay? Like that's we know that, all right? Like we get that, all right? It's just I'm so tired of hearing the same crap after losses. I really am. It's
Okay,
not there.
so
I
what
mean,
do you-
open up your eyes, Kings fans. It's not there. And I've talked about the lack of consistency on this team for too damn long.
So what do you want to hear?
You know what I want to hear? I want to hear just like answer the questions about what happened in the game. What was it about the first quarter that allowed you to score 31 points? To give up 31 points. What happened in the third quarter? What happened at halftime? What was the difference, Doug, at halftime? What was said that invigorated your players to come out and play like that in the third quarter? Doug, why is it that during this awful stretch and the loss of 8 of the last 10, what is it about your team that has been so inconsistent? Why can't you fix it? Why can't the players fix it? Those are the questions I want asked and want answered.
Yeah, that's half the battle right there, getting amassed. Do a show on that alone. There were some inconsistencies. Zach Lavine made a statement that the vibe in the locker room was not good. And before the game tonight, Doug Christie came up and said the opposite and said Zach was wrong. So
did Keon Ellis.
Well, when you have Keon Ellis and you have Keegan Murray both step up and say stuff that they did after the Bulls game, that said something to me. Thank you for the super chat. From front outside looking in, the question is, how does Doug not deserve a full season / training camp? Love you guys, but come on.
It's not my decision to make. It's my opinion that the Kings need a new general manager and a new head coach. That's my opinion. I believe that they need a more seasoned, more experienced coach. And That's where I stand. If Doug gets the job, I'm not going to be like unhappy. I'm not going to be going on the air and ranting about what a terrible move it is. It's my opinion. I think the Kings would be better off hiring a more seasoned, experienced coach.
I guess my question for all the Kings fans is, what if Doug wasn't Doug, but it's the same guy preaching the same message? He wasn't an ex-Sacramento King.
We wouldn't have this. We wouldn't have this conversation.
I think it would be much different, 100%. But
Right.
I don't disagree about some of the hurdles he's faced, the record. I push back on you a little bit about guys being out because I think, that goes both ways and it's part of the season. But my biggest concern about Doug coming back is what we said earlier in the show. The conduit to the owner, straight to the bench. That is my concern.
121 to 105, the final tonight. Always appreciate your phone calls. Keep them coming, or your chat messages. And speaking of really making a difference, I love what Connor at Element Mortgage can do for you. If you are buying a home, if you are selling a home, if you are looking to refi, whatever the case may be, you get in touch with Connor. You can use that QR code or call him at 916-505-1006. And if you're a real estate agent, if you need a lender who works as hard for your clients as you do, Connor's your guy. He does get the deals done. He keeps you informed at every step in the loan process. And you know what? He's got to make the loan process easy for your buyers. And buyers love when the process is easy. So reach out to him today. There's the QR code, or 916-505-1006, and see the difference a great lender makes. That's Connor with Element Mortgage. Again, get in touch with him today.
Connor looks like he could be a pro wrestler.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He was a collegiate wrestler. Did you know that?
I did. He was a Cal Poly wrestler, I believe.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Tough sport.
Oh boy, the discipline in that sport is unbelievable. It really is.
The training. When I was in middle school, Grant, and you get all these different options presented to you, I knew I was going to do basketball. I was doing football already on the side, but they're like, "Hey, we've got Kerr wrestling," and I'm like, "No way, you got Kerr wrestling?" And they're like, "Yeah, we got Kerr wrestling." And I'm like, "I'm for sure going to do wrestling." Because I thought it was going to be like WWE. Like, I thought there was going to be a ring, an entrance way.
Oh, my God.
Showed up the first day, looked at the mats. See ya.
Yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yeah, that's not my cup of tea, being in those type of positions with a guy, with his with my face in his armpit. Like, that's just not something that appeals to me.
You're not
a
twister. You're not a twister.
No.
Guy?
No. I'm just like, no.
Well, you have a little bit more to stretch. You're like 6'2". So
yeah, I'm just like, give me a sport where I can shoot the ball really, really fast, whether it's a puck, whether it's a lacrosse ball. Give me that. You know what I'm saying? That's the sport that I want. I want to see a goalie's head go, whoof, whoof. What was that? That was the ball going right by your ear hole that you heard. That's what I like.
I love it. Umer, what's up tonight? You there, Umar? Usually reliable. Love talking to him. All right, we'll give him a second. I'm sure he'll get that figured out. Yeah, your lacrosse days. What was your best lacrosse shot? Did you ever do like one behind the back? Behind the head?
I had a shot where when my back was to the goal, I could catch it and shoot it in one motion without the goalie seeing it. And a lot of times it fooled the guy that was guarding me, or if it was out on my side, I could do the same thing like that.
Yeah.
So that I scored many goals that way, but my best shot was on the extra man. I played on the wing, and I could, if we talk about yesterday, right? The ball's got to be in the window,
right?
If the ball was in the right place for me, I could almost catch it, wind up, and shoot it at the same time at a very high velocity. And I scored a lot of goals on the extra man on the man up. But my philosophy is very simple. If the goalie can't see it, he's not going to stop it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I played the game and how I shot. And the difference between playing on artificial turf and the grass was night and day. Artificial turf, big difference. If I played on natural turf, I bounced the ball a lot because the ball would never take the same bounce twice.
Yeah. Well, that was concrete back then, Grant. That was carpet.
Yeah, well, when you played on that AstroTurf, it was like carpet, and the ball would take a fast bounce off it, but it was a true bounce. If it was a little wet, sometimes the ball would skid, and I would always keep that in mind. But on natural grass, I bounced the ball a lot because the ball took wicked bounces off the natural grass.
Very interesting. So you're a good one-timer. Sounds like a hockey one-timer.
Well, I scored the majority of my goals on quick sticks because I played crease attack, and you don't have a lot of time because as soon as the ball gets thrown in the middle, the goalie yells, "Check sticks," and everyone near you will come down hard on you. That's why I had so many bruises all over my body, and that's the truth. But so you boom and shoot, boom, one motion.
Okay,
quick.
but if you've got your back to the goalie and you're catching the pass, how are you not? Are you spinning your?
Well, I didn't score a lot of the goals that way. I scored some of the goals that way. Most of the time, my body was at an angle or facing the goal, either coming from right or left, so that I could catch the ball and shoot it forward in one motion.
Yeah, no, I got that part of it. But you said your shot where you would be able to do it from behind.
Yeah,
how are you?
Again, that just first of all, it depends on if the ball. When you play lacrosse, you have very little time to catch the ball and shoot it without it being checked by the defenseman.
Okay.
So if you're running kind of like with your back to the goal, or you're moving and the ball's coming at you, you don't have a chance to catch it, turn, and shoot it. You don't have time. You'll be killed. So in those situations, when I felt the defenseman on me, I would go out and meet the ball, move the stick towards to meet the ball, and then catch it, and then the same motion, do it back. I didn't wait till the ball got to me. I met the ball out front, and then boom, went that way.
Okay. I see you. It's such an intriguing sport to me because when I was growing up, you didn't see much of it here on the West Coast.
Oh yeah,
ever.
Yep. I used to play. I played club lacrosse here until I was 50 years old. I played on a club team in Sacramento until I was 50.
Were you doing play-by-play for your team while you were playing?
I wasn't doing play-by-play because I was breathing too hard to talk. So I told you my last game. Summer league against college kids. I go out to start the game, and we're waiting for the face-off. And the kid guarding me said, "How are you, Mr. Napier?"
Yeah.
And I said, "I'm good. How are you? Where do you go to school?" And I go, "Good. Get ready for a long day." That's what I said to him.
Yeah.
And he started laughing. I scored 5 goals on him, and it was the last game I played because I could barely walk to the car because I got checked. I had cuts all up and down my legs. We were playing on carpet, we were at a field in Roseville, elbows, my whole body, I could barely go to the car, but I had 5 goals, and I got in the car, and my kids were there, and I told, so this would have been 15 years ago, and I told Star and my boys, I go, "That's the last game you're ever going to see me play. I'm done." And I went out on a good note, 5 goals.
Isn't there something weirdly satisfying about that feeling, though? Being a little bit beat up, having that.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. But it wasn't great when I couldn't walk for 3 days or was laboring. I was like, it's too much. Again, I played box lacrosse too, inside. That's on a hockey rink. And that's a very closed environment and a very physical, rough game. I was playing that until I was 50. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. It's too much.
A hockey rink without ice, I would assume. Correct?
Oh yeah. They covered it with a carpet, but but I was just giving you an idea. It was basically that was the surface.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I get it. I don't get it like that because I'm not 50 years old. But I
was proud of myself. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I just had 5 goals against college kids. I'm done.
It's amazing. I love it. I hope I can get back on the basketball court, on the golf course so far. Maybe the basketball court someday with the hips.
All right. Well, we wrap it up. The Kings now with a chance to go 3-4 on this homestand, which we all would have taken at the beginning of it, I think, because I don't think anyone thought the Kings would beat Cleveland. If you beat Portland, maybe you get a little momentum going on the road. If you lose to Portland, you got some real issues here, big time issues.
You do. A Portland team that the Kings have had struggles against. They're confident, they're young, they're big, so the Kings will have to bring it.
They will have to bring it. And let's hope that they can. Let's hope that they can. All right, Kings Court, the roundtable tomorrow. Are we doing it at 5 o'clock?
Yeah, 5 o'clock roundtable. So
Sounds
no
good.
Kings Court. We'll all be together. And looking forward to asking Jerry that question about the play-in or the pick.
Sounds great. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow, 5 o'clock, right here on If You Don't Like That. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you all. Stay safe. Bye-bye.